Do you have a lightsaber in your closet that you don't use because it's just not that great? Maybe it doesn't have sensitive smooth swing. Maybe it can't do quick color change. Maybe it just has only 3 sound fonts and you want more. Well, there is a way to change that. You can upgrade the soundboard. And that's what I'm going to be doing today, is I'm going to be upgrading the soundboard in this Saber right here. So I ordered a DamienSaber 12 sound font board, and we're going to put that in and see how it is. Let's go. Hello there to all my Jedi and Sith companions. If you're new to the channel, I'm very glad you could join us. Please like and subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified when I post something new. Today we're going to be doing an upgrade to a soundboard. This is the new one right here. Just this tiny little thing, but this little thing right here does so much. This soundboard from DamienSaber is chocked full of features. It comes with 12 sound fonts. You have Rey, Leia, Kylo Ren, Obi Wan. I'm going to list all the sound fonts that it comes with in the description below. It has 3 light effects: steady, unstable, pulse, 3 volume modes: mute, low, and high. It has blaster effects, flash on clash, lock up, and sensitive smooth swing. It sells for $25 US, free shipping, which is a really good deal for this soundboard. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, oh, I want that soundboard, it's so cool, but I don't have any experience soldering and I don't want to mess anything up. Well, you don't have to worry about that because DamienSaber offers you the option to buy the entire core, which is the internals of the lightsaber. It comes out in one piece and the new one goes in the same way. If you can unscrew a screw, you can replace the core. It's that simple. I think it's about time we point the camera down at the table, and I'm going to show you everything you need for this upgrade. For this upgrade, you are going to need solder. Make sure it's electrical solder with rosin core. You'll need helping hands, the new soundboard, soldering iron, and an old lightsaber which has an old soundboard that you want to upgrade. The first thing you're going to want to do is remove the core from the lightsaber. This particular lightsaber has 2 screws on the back. So I'm going to use my own tool, but you can use the Allen key. And you're going to remove the screws on the back like this. Okay, now I'm going to unscrew the grip. Like that. And we're going to push down on the button till it goes down all the way, and then we pull out the core. There's the old soundboard. Now I've cheated a little bit and I already desoldered all the wiring from the old soundboard just to speed things up a little bit. So the next step is there are 2 screws on the core that you need to remove to be able to open the core. And it uses that same Allen key. There's that one, and now the other one. Okay, and now you're just going to lift. And now the core is open. And I'm just going to lift up the old soundboard because, like I said, I already desoldered it. Okay, so inside we have the speaker, which I'm going to disconnect. put it off to the side. We have your charging port and your power button and your LED lamp. I'm going to leave the wires on the core for the battery. We'll do the battery at the very end. So the first two wires that we're going to connect are from the speaker positive and speaker negative. I have the wires going up underneath and into each hole, and I'm going to apply solder on the back of the board, which is what you're seeing right now. Both points are now soldered for the speaker. It's time to move on to the next section. The next step is to attach the RGB emitter to the soundboard. Now you'd think by the colors of the wires that that's what they correspond to. Red going to the red light, green to green, blue to blue, and white to positive. But they don't. The reason I know this is because when I desoldered the old board, red actually is the positive, white is red, green is the blue LED, and the blue wire is the green LED. I could take it apart in here and switch all those wires around, but I don't need to. I just know that red is positive, white is red, that's blue, and that's green. So I'm going to take these 4 wires with my helping hands, and I'm going to, again, put them from underneath, putting the white wire on red, the green wire on, the blue wire on green, the green wire on blue, and the red wire on the positive, which is right there. I have this little piece of paper where I wrote down the colors of the wires and how they correspond on the board, just in case I forget. I'm going to attach one wire at a time, rather than trying to have all 4 wires in position. We'll just do one at a time, it'll be easier. Okay, so the red is the positive. All right, so I have the 4 wires to the emitter soldered on. It is time to move on to the USB connection and the power switch. So I have the red wire in, which is for the switch, positive. I apologize for the camera angle, but at this point it's not so much about getting a good camera angle. I need to make sure I can see what I'm doing here. After I'm done, I'll show you how it's going to look. Yeah, you want to make sure that you're very precise when you're doing this. You don't want to use a lot of solder because the points between each joint are very narrow. Okay, so that's it for the power button and the USB. I'll let you have a closer look so you can see. We have our RGB all connected, our switch and the LED and the USB. And you notice how you don't want any solder between each of those points, or else you'll create a short and that could damage the soundboard. So the last thing we need to do is connect the wires for the battery. So the battery wires I'm going to do a little differently. Because they are a little thicker gauge than the other ones, I can't really put them through the holes. So I'm just going to be soldering them on the top of the board. And I have my helping hands with the wire positioned where I need it. Okay, so this is the positive terminal for the battery. Okay, so we're done soldering. So there's our battery right here, negative, positive. We're almost done. So the last step is putting it all back together. So we're going to start with the RGB. So there's your light. It's going to go into there. The manufacturer puts a little bit of glue in there to hold it in place. I wouldn't use hot glue because it does get quite hot and the hot glue is just not going to work. I'm going to use something a little different called alien tape. I'm going to try it out. I've used it before on other projects. So alien tape is not really tape. The best way to describe it, it's like a jelly. Now we're just going to put a little piece down there. Like so. And then I'm going to use this to try to peel off that plastic. Okay. And now we're going to take that. Yeah, I think that'll work. We'll find out when I try to put it all back together. Okay, so the next thing is the wiring from the emitter. You want to make sure that the wiring, I'm going to point to it here, make sure the wiring goes behind these little fins, and that'll just keep all the wires away from the board here. So we just want to push them in one at a time, like that. Okay. So now we're going to take our switch, and the switch, when you put it inside, you'll feel it. It's going to be resting on this black piece inside. And when you push it down, you'll feel it. It'll just feel snug and that it's sitting where it's supposed to be. All right, and now the soundboard. Okay, so you know what? I'm just going to put a piece across the back like that. There. That's good enough. It's just to hold it so it's not completely rattling around in there. Lastly is the speaker. So the speaker connects with just like that. So you can see that, I hope. So now we connect the speaker, and you can tell that they had it glued in again. So we will do the same again with alien tape. And I'm just going to kind of roll it up with all that excess inside. I'm just checking to make sure that none of the wires are going to be pierced by a screw. And I see that white wire right there, you see? Just poking out. Let's get that back down. Come on, there we go. Now it's time to reinstall the core. So we're going to flip it over and we're going to line up the hole on the bottom. And screw that in. And we're going to take this retention screw, it's really long. And when you're screwing this in, make sure that the hex or the Allen key part of it is sticking out. And what this does is, if you didn't know, it pushes the button out. So you can see it's going to start getting closer and closer like that. All right, and lastly, screw the grip back in. Okay, moment of truth. Okay, let's try turning the saber on, see what happens.
Power on.
Ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive! Now that you've seen the comparison between the old and the new, you can see the difference in the soundboard and how the sensitive smooth swing really reacts to your movement. The soundboard is phenomenal. There's no other word to describe it. If you have a RGB style lightsaber, this is the soundboard you want. There is only one small thing that is a negative, and it's not a huge deal. And I did mention this in the review of the AutoWort lightsaber, is that sometimes when you are swinging the saber around, you accidentally shut it off because the motion control, you could twist your wrist and it'll shut off the saber. But like I've said before, you can turn off motion control and you don't have to worry about that. So my final rating for the DamienSaber 12 SOUNDFONT soundboard, I am giving it a 4.8 out of 5. Fantastic soundboard. It doesn't get any better. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified when I post something new. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. This has been your host, The Frugal Jedi, and I'll see you next week.